Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Welcome to all the guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Menachem Shmeira.
Menachem. You ready for some? You want to help me out during shir today? Where are you from?
Originally from London. It's 20 years since I moved here.
How many?
A year.
A year. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. Okay, he doesn't want to help you. You might have to help me then. Nachman, you okay? Hi, my name is Avrumi Gottman. One of the three top, not trying to be a Balgaiva, like Rebelli says, you can light here today for the first time. I've been a long time watcher since Bav Basra Daf Kuf Lamed Hey. This is my first time being, what is it? Ba'or.
A beer.
Whatever that means, attending live. I recently joined through What a Day by Ari Chaim with somebody. So what, you guys are all from the same koil? Where? Where's that? Shleim. So your name is Gottman. Your name is? What's your first name? Shalom Aleichem. And you? Shalom Aleichem. And what's your? You were here yesterday. I forgot to say hello to you, right? What's your name? Waldman. Shalom Aleichem, Gedaliah. And you? Father, son.
Brothers.
Brothers? Bemis? Wow. It's like me and my brother. My brother has a long white beard, and everybody thinks he's older than me. You're probably younger than him. My brother always says, I might look older, but I definitely act more mature. Something like that. I don't know. He has a whole line. Okay. Who else? Rabbi Krause is here. Also a guest. And Rabbi Farkish is all the way from Australia, sitting by the bathroom. Couldn't make him a shtickle seat, a better seat than that. Wow. So, tell me how much my mindset has changed. Now, instead of looking at someone and thinking they're a whack job, I see blorid bizmanenu. So he has this thing right over here. This is a blorid bizmanenu. See that? Gewaldig. I'm not sure the guy's not a whack job. Okay, whatever. It's a different. Then I realized I might have been a Jewish barber, especially when I noticed the extra sholish boys. See picture below. I brought my friend to see him. He wasn't in this year before it, but it was so geschmack he came anyway. He was so inspired by the siyum that he decided to start listening to full shiurim, and ever since then he's been hooked. The last young man just joined recently. He now comes to Koil sing the most famous song, Kol HaShiratzim. Thank you so much. Ooh, I forgot to put that in. Okay. There's a. Okay, whatever. The last thing. Thank you so much for changing our lives. I used to never learn on planes. Now, thanks to Molandi, I've learned 3 daf on each of my recent flights. What do you mean? From America to here? Only 3 daf? You were learning Be'iyun the whole time? We do 30 daf on a flight. What's? Yeah, no, I chap. It's 11 hours. It took you 11 hours to do 3 daf. Okay. He's still in koil. This guy. But boys, I don't know when we're going to have an opportunity. We have here Oshi. Oshi has been a very, very big part of the shir for a few years already. He comes every single day. I don't know where he is lately. But he just made us see him. What? He's at the Hebrew last night. So I wanted to say he's going to yeshiva next year. Probably, this is, my last day here is Monday. Going to Miami on Monday. So we have to give him a big round of applause because he was just Messiahim Seder Nezikin Gemara. And he did his own siyum on Avodah Zarah and Hayres to be Messiahim Nezikin. Guy's a Steigenist. So you should do well in yeshiva. Yeah, Jacob Simon, his grandchildren. What? Simon Jacob. The one that gave us a giant battle on Shabbos. Dear Rebelli, just another simple example of how the shir affects people in ways you don't even realize. Today, I got really caught up in a case I was working on and ended up missing the opportunity to catch Mincha Ma'ariv with a minion. I davened Mincha by myself in time, and afterwards, when it was time to daven Ma'ariv, exhausted, I realized I had also not come close to finishing today's daf yet. What to do first? I figured I would not possibly miss Ma'ariv before going to sleep, but the shir could end up falling through the cracks. I decided to finish listening to this shir first. Almost immediately after I started listening, you mentioned that the greatness of Daniel was that he always prayed 3 times a day, never missing a day. Well, my name is Daniel, and when I daven Ma'ariv now, the extra kavanah will be because of MDY, Kol Tuv Daniel. Rabbi said the Masechta is sponsored by David Solomon, dedicated in memory of Avi Mori Reb Shmuel Baruch Berib Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zichron Levracha. The Masechta is sponsored anonymous. Hatzloch Baruch Nizavigashmi Zilchus Acheru B'nei Yisrael. Anonymous, may our learning be a shield of protection, a source of unity and blessing for Am Yisrael. Joel Gedalius, Lili Nishmas, my father, Jack Gedalius. Co-sponsors monthly. Moshe Aaron and Miriam Landy. Thank Hashem for all the bracha and simcha. Monthly sponsors, TCS Israel, powered by Talk and Save. And now ask Refuah Shleima Chuldalei Bas Bracha. Weekly sponsors, Ari Farkas. Then my father, Dov Farkas. What's going on in Dov? Explain what's going on here. Then my father, Dov Farkas, should stay strong in his daf. You had a shtickle.
No, my son just decided to send money to Mecca in July.
Beautiful. Okay. Stay strong in his Daf Yomi commitment and connection to Yiddishkeit. Givaldik. How long are you with us? 4 or 5 years?
Since the beginning, since Brachas.
Since Brachas. Givaldik. So it's 5 years basically. The Yom and Zichroman. Refor Shleimo Lavrov ben Elisheva Pnino. And daily sponsors Ari, Aviela, Adira, Itai, Roy Siegel. Happy 75th birthday. 75th birthday to Avram Yehuda Lifshitz. May you have 75 more. Your learning inspires us. Mordechai Zapazin, thank you to Rebbe for staying an extra week before going to America to be Mechazik Doilam. We all appreciate it. Shkoyach, Kobe Moses. My 4th daf anniversary, Sukkah daf Beis. I've always said, I ever started Sukkah? It's 4 years ago. 1,477 daf done. 1,234 daf to go. Thank you, Rebelli and the MDY staff. So if you're with us from the beginning of Sukkah, which seems like yesterday, it's already 4 years. Anonymous, Lila Nishmas Rivka Bas Chaim Moishala Shalom. Mati Klein, leadership of Mari Kusil Yudit Tzvi, Zechron Levrach Meir Shalom, Yortzeit Chof Ches Tammuz, and making my first siyum at home. Mazel Tov. Anonymous in honor of Reb Eli's new niggin that we can't get out of our heads. Ay 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 kol ashrov avotzim yesh lo emeres shevevel nochosh mevevei mi yiskola. David Feinberg, Lili Nishmas, my grandmother Rochel Bas Yosef.
Very popular. Much popular.
Anyway, monthly Yonatan Edom member Shavuot Bracha for Shleima, for Yonatan Edom member Shavuot Bracha for Shleima Mordechai ben Esther, for Sayel Daniel Zev ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Sai, here we go. Holding 8 lines from the bottom of the Lamed Vav Amud Beis. Mayel Dover Acher, Mishum Dover Acher. Like somebody said yesterday, Mein Dossel at Gahata Yentzel in a Chmacha Fresel. What's a Fresel Kiddush? My wife had a, because you don't say what it is. What's Dover Acher? You'll never guess what the 2 Dover Achers are. So if anybody asks you, if you ever happen to be in a test of Shas Yidin, and they ask you what Dover Acher is, so here we have another one that nobody knows about. Dover Acher usually means P-I-G, Chazer. You can mean him at Tzoira. And here we have one that nobody will ever know. Omer Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Gozru al tinoik oived gechavim sheitame beziva. Dover Acher means ziva. They made a gzeira that there's a special tumah on a goy, even though he doesn't have tumah, he's like a behema. But tumah like a ziva, tumah ziva. Shelo yeh tinoik, why? Shelo yeh tinoik Yisrael rogel etzloi b'mishkav zachor. So that he shouldn't, the children shouldn't be friends, because now we have to be worried about Mishkav Zachar, which is also Dover Acher. So 2 more Dover Achers. The Ziva for the Isser. Domer Reb Zera, Tzar Godol Hoyeli, it's a Reb Asi. I had a lot of pain with Reb Asi. I had to go back to many times asking this question over and over until I got an answer. Reb Asi, it's a Reb Yochanan, Reb Yochanan, it's a Reb Yana, Reb Yana, it's a Reb Nosson ben Amram, Reb Nosson ben Amram, it's a Rebbe. Mamish, one of my favorite lines in all of Shas. Let's do it again, it's so gishmak. I went to Rabasi. Rabasi, it's a Rabbi Yochanan, he went to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan, it's a Rabbi Yana, he went to Rabbi Yana. Rabbi Yana, it's a Rabbi Nosson ben Amram. Rabbi Nosson ben Amram, it's a Rebbe, and finally they got to Rebbe. What age? What age is a guy, is a idol worshiper? Tomei beziva. V'omar li ben yoimai. Mamish. You could say, you could cut anything out of the shir, anything you want. A guy goes to my chavrusa, I don't know who he is, I hope he's not part of the shir. He says, Eli doesn't know how to learn. Because it says, and he was upset, somebody sent him a clip, I guess, where he said, his siyoy l'dover acher, so I said as a joke, in passing, I said he married him off to a pig. She says, look, he said he married him off to a pig. No, that's all he heard from the shir, and that's what he took out. I was just thinking now, if some guy like has a tainam, he'll say, oh, I said to a goy is a behema. No, I don't worship her. Got to be careful. So we have a machlokes here. Yesterday we learned that a girl becomes a nida, a goyish girl becomes a nida the day she's born. Even though she has zero tumah and she shouldn't be a bichlal, midaraisa nida. So when is a boy? Also, ben yoymai, the day he's born. Ukshabatzi etzel Rabbi Chia. Chia said no. Omali ben teisha shana v'yemechad. As we're going to see, what's the whole point over here? The whole reason is that they shouldn't be friends with the Jewish boys, and we have a problem with Mishkav Zachar, so you have to be at least 9 years old. Roy Lebia. Ukshabatzi v'tzeis dvar l'fnei Rabbi. Omali hanach dvarai v'choiz divrei Rabbi Chia. You know, I got to retract. He's right. I'm wrong. When is the age? Ben teisha shana v'yemechad, 9 years old. So it has to do with 9 years old, you have to be roy. If so, I argue on what we learned yesterday. If the idea is roy lebia, so we all know roy lebia is from 3 years old, not 1 day. That's when she becomes a zava, a nida, a zava, same thing. Ask the Gemara Pshita. If you're telling me that you have to be roy lebia, so we all know roy lebia is 3. I think that when it comes to a 9-year-old boy, it makes sense that that's the age, because he has enough seichel to convince somebody for whatever he needs to convince. But she's so young, maybe she's roy lebia, but she doesn't have enough das to convince anybody for anything. So maybe it should be a more advanced age. 3 is too young. No, it starts at 3. Says the Gemara's story. This is just, I'm doing this for Shamshi.
כל השרוצים, יש להם ארץ, שהם נלקוש מהמיס. כל השרוצים, יש להם ארץ, שהם אינו מהמיס. כל השרוצים, יש להם ארץ, שהם נלקוש מהמיס. כל השרוצים, יש להם ארץ, שהם אינו מהמיס. כל השרוצים יש לו ומרש ומנחוש וממיס. כל השרוצים יש לו ומרש ושרוצים אינו ממיס.
Okay. He's like a frog. Zog the Gemara. Mistamech v'ozer Rabbi Yehuda Nesio akatvi de Rabbi Simloi Shamei. Rabbi Yehuda Nesio, who was the grandson of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. You have Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. And you have a grandson, Rabbi Yehuda Nesio. Mistamech v'ozer Rabbi Yehuda Nesio akatvi de Rabbi Simloi Shamei. Who was his shamish? Who was his gabbai? Rabbi Simloi. So if you recall yesterday, I told you to remember the name Rabbi Simloi. It's the same person. Rabbi Simloi from Lud, with the cannibals. Here he is. He's leaning on him. He's walking his Rebbe, Rabbi Yehuda Nesio. Omar Lei, he tells him, Simloi, lo yiso emesh bevis hamedrash kishetarnus hashemen. Where were you yesterday? I don't know when the last time I said the story. Be moichem if I said it in the last month. When we came to Eretz Yisrael, this is when I was 10 years old. So it's 42 years ago. My father used to learn at home. He has tefillin, the whole thing. And somebody in Ramat al-Hanan, we lived there by Yisrael, was went to Rav Shach and said there's an interesting guy that came from America. He learns with talis and tefillin the whole day. Sometimes he's in shul, sometimes this. He doesn't go to koil. He's just learning the whole day, a big masmid. So Rav Shach needed to know exactly what's going on. So he sent a message to my father that he wants to see him right away. So my father showed up there, and my father started talking to him and learning. And I guess he was impressed. He says, I want you to come Motzei Shabbos and learn with me. So he came Motzei Shabbos, and then it was for basically the 3 years that we lived in Eretz Yisrael, then my father came here every single Motzei Shabbos. But one time my father didn't come. My mother had pneumonia. So he didn't show up. He had to stay home. Next day, we heard a commotion in the stairwell. There's like a lot of noise. And a knock on the door. We open up the door, Rav Shach is standing there. And like 200 kids from the neighborhood, it was the Gala Dor then. Everybody came, they saw the car coming, they came running up the stairs with him, the whole thing. So my father's like, what's going on? He says, you didn't show up yesterday, where were you? He says, no, my wife is sick. He says, so I came to be Mevakar Choyle, he said, whatever. We took some pictures. I saw the pictures like maybe 15 years ago, I don't know, they're somewhere. Very interesting. Where were you? You come every day to yeshiva, where were you? And then he says, Kishitarnu Hashemen. We were matter yesterday, the shemen of a goy. Just like this paspalter, this chol of stam, this chol of akum. Not chol of akum. There's also shemen akum. And we said it's mutter. Why is it mutter? You remember from yesterday? Why is it mutter? Can't be oimid in the gzeira. Okay, so it seems like that's where Reb Samloi got his. That's why he said that it's mutter, and Rav said on him, oh, he's a mizalzel, he's from Lud, mizalzel, but l'chayr, this is it. Tarnus Hashem, Amar Loi, b'yomeinu tatir afes apas. If you're already starting to you're making a terim, so go all out. Be matir the pas palter, the pas akum. Amar Loi, you're right. I should. And this is a big aside. I should, but I can't. Imkain, korulon, beis sharia. This is problematic. Why? People are going to say that we're makel. There's always rabbanim. Go to that rav. You have go to that rav. He's going to be makel. He's a makel. Go to that one. He's a machmer. Depending on what you want, you go to this rav, that rav. So I don't want to be called a Mekel Rav. The Rambam says, based on this Gemara, which is another 2 lines from here, he says that if a Rav is matter 2 things in his lifetime, lo yimahir to be Mekel the 3rd time. You shouldn't rush you have to be very careful not to do 3 kulas. Otherwise you're going to be known as the Rav that's Mekel.
And what? And what's the problem?
No, it's a zilzul in the Rav. It means like he's not so makbid in halacha. He never had. That's something else. That's something koyach de Torah. Because it just shows he's not careful in mitzvahs. He's like it's a zilzul in the thing. You never had a friend that's a shtickle. Everything you ask him, I don't fast here. This and Shabbos I do this. I eat this hechsher. So you look at him. You're one of these mekilim guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a zilzul. Says the Gemara, Bisnan. Hey, Yossi ben Yoezer is straight up. So they take out the word Rebbe here. In fact, later on the Gemara doesn't even bring the word Rebbe. And the reason is very simple, because he was one of the Zugas. Yeah, early on they didn't have a toyar. How do you say toyar in English? A title. It's not Rebbe Yeshua ben Nun, it's Yeshua ben Nun. As the generations get weaker, today you have to do Hadmar, Kudosh, Agoyin ha'adir ha'mechubed v'anechbod v'ha'onov v'chulu v'chulu. Ish tzreida al ayol kamtza. Hey, Rabbi Yosef ben Yezer. So you see, Yosef ben Yezer gave 3 kulas. And they started calling him a mekel. What were the 3 kulas? Al ayol kamtza. I actually have a little bit of it. This is gross. I don't Still alive. It's a grasshopper. There's a type of a grasshopper. Now this is probably not it. You don't want to hold it? I saw you got feckled, so we're going to put it back in here. Yeah, it's kosher. It has a hechsher actually. This is, I saw a video of Reb Hershel Schachter eating this. Right out of this box. And he said it didn't taste like anything. He said, the last time I ate it, they fried it in oil. I didn't know he's Taimani. He ate it. Okay. So first of all, he says ayol kamtzo. This type of grasshopper called the ayol dechan. It's kosher. V'almashke beis mitbechayo, and the liquids in the Beis Hamikdash dechan. Here, let me just show you real quickly. You see, in the Beis Hamikdash, there was this is the mizbeach. Yeah, this white thing over here is the mizbeach. These circles, these semicircles, that's where you put the cow or the animal's head in it, and it grabs into the ground so you can't move. And then you have the tables right over here, and that's where you do all the stuff. It's called Beis Mitbechaim, the butcher shop over there. Yeah. So there's a lot of liquid over there. What kind of liquid? A lot of blood and a lot of water. All the liquid is kosher, is tahar, not kosher, tahar. Why tahar? Because if it would be tamei, it would be major problems. Everything that comes in becomes tamei. Kosher, tahar. Va'al, this is very super interesting, and you need a Gemara. Va'al diyikrav le'misam is soav. And if you touch a dead person, you become tamei. No, that's not a big chiddush, right? And also, not only is it not a big chiddush, where's the kula? We're trying to find 3 kulas he did. Gemara addresses it all, and the Gemara is going to explain to us why it's a kula, if it's not literally like the words it says it. And because he did 3, Yosef Sharia, his name, he got a name, Shabaleichem, come on in. They called him the Yosef who's mater. So I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be a Mekel. If he was Mekel that day, Wonder Bread, all those cookies, all those stuff, Mamish 100% mutter. Omerle, Hassam Sharat Loss, I don't understand, he tells him. Says Rabbi Simloi. He was matter 3, like we just said. Umar Shar Choda, all you did was you matter oil. So you got one more, you got at least one freebie. If you're going to do one more heter, so you had 2. No, I'm already at 2. That's going to bring me to 3. I was matter one more thing. That's not the famous case. Don't get too much trauma from this case. We have a Geschmacka chart here. So we have 2 cases really. Person tells his wife, this is your get. If I don't come, you're leaving to bring a guy? Wow. This is your get. I don't think I made a bracha. Baruch atah. This is your get. If I don't show up in 12 months from now. Let's think about it. This is your get. If I don't show up in 12 months from now. So when is the get? In 12 months. But if he says, Me achshav, this is your get from now. If I don't show up in 12 months from now. So not showing up in 12 months from now is the condition. But the get is chal. When's the chalois? When does it start working? Right now. If the condition is met, then it will start working right now. Big nafkamina, what the first word is. He says, Im loy basi is not a condition. If I don't come, not that it should start now. If I don't come, it's a condition, yeah. But when does it start? In 12 months from now. Im loy basi mikana 12 chodesh. Umeis b'soich 12 chodesh. Ain't a get. So here it is, right here. Take a look at the chart. The get has to say the date, today's date, because that's when he's giving it to her. So he gives her a get and says on it, Aleph Nisan Tavshin Pei Hey. If I don't show up by Tavshin Pei Vav 1 year from today, then the get is Chal when? L'chayra, at the end of the arrow. So that's what he writes in the get. Then, and he leaves, he goes on a trip. Nebuch, he goes pfeifen. Now, if the get is supposed to take effect after 12 months, when is that really taking effect? After the guy died. And in get lacher misa, you can't give a get after a person dies. That's why the get is nothing, says the Tanna Kama. Ain't a get, it's not a get. Here, let's just see, the Tanna Kama says that it's chal by the arrow, by the red, no good, it's red. However, we're trying to find the second case where Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya was Mekel. He says, Rabbi Seinu Tiruli Nasei. Rabbi Seinu, who's Rabbi Seinu? That's Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya. It's the same people that said that oil of the guy is mutter. They said that she is allowed to use the get. Now, so what if she uses the get? What's the difference? Her husband is dead already. No. Yibum. The nafkamina is for Yibum. The what? We have both of them here. Wow. The two Baldwin brothers sitting next to each other. Unbelievable. Doesn't happen very often. Two brothers. This guy married this five-town woman. And they didn't have children, and he goes, bye-bye. So this guy has to marry her. Now, if he gave her a get, if the guy with the red tie gave her a get, so she doesn't have to be misyabim to the brother-in-law who she hates very much. Oh, Omer Rav Yehuda Shmuel. So now when you go back to this case, so he's over here. He says, no, look at this. What happened? Take a look at the get. We're going to enlarge the get. What does the get say? The get says on it, Aleph Nisan Tavshin Pei Hey. Why does it say Aleph Nisan Tavshin Pei Hey? It's as if he's saying that the get should be chal from the moment I give it to you if I don't show up. Now he doesn't show up. Why doesn't he show up? He's gone dead in the water. So Mamela, the get is chal retroactively. Which reminds me, it's just chazara, but we gotta say it. The article says retroactive clarification. So my daughter came over to me for Shabbos, and she was giving me a whole drush about the new type of chinuch, the new age chinuch, which I'm from old age, so I don't understand the new age. It's all love and then explaining and time ins, not time outs, a whole zach. So I told her, what's going to be with RATC? She said, what's that? I said, retroactive trauma clarification. So I just took what the article said and they stuck in trauma and they made it a thing. And she was so shocked that she thought I was an Amma Aretz Chinuch. And she says, now I'm using all these sophisticated things. She started going, retroactive trauma. Oh, it's a thing, RATC. So what you don't know about RATC, there's a whole, and that was it. Vayidaim Aliza, she couldn't say a word for the rest of the Suda, it was Marilik. Retroactive trauma clarification.
Retroactively, you gave her trauma.
Don't tell her. Adi even says she thinks it's a thing. Sorry, look here. She put I was speaking to her yesterday, and her husband is in Utah, and he gives shiurim there. It's I forgot what it's called. Wednesday night pizza, whatever. So she says a guy comes. My name is Adam the Heretic. That's how he introduces himself. And he tells in front of Mary, he says, the stupidity that you're saying here about chinuch, whatever the word in English, how old is your child? So he's 5 years old. Enough said, be quiet, I don't want to hear from you. That's what he said in front of everybody. He's like, enough of you shtusim. I'm like clapping to myself. I said, oh, this is a terrible thing to do in public like this. And she said, chutzpah from a guy who comes and makes fun of our chinuch. And so, he's not the only one. Okay, anyway. Yes, he said an interesting lashon im. He didn't say ma'achshav. He didn't say it should start from now, retroactive. But it is retroactive. Why is it retroactive? Because look at the star. The star says Aleph Nisan on it. Review the Nasi, or review the Nasi, we call him, Hoira. He said that this woman is allowed to get married. It's a big, big thing. You need very wide places for this. You need wide shoulders to say, everybody says that she cannot get married. She never had a get. It's a terrible get. He says it's a great get. But his entire life, nobody admitted to him. Nobody agreed to him. Anyways, he's a makel. Here's the second thing that he's makel. So for him to say that bread, pas akum, is mutter, that would be the third thing, and people are going to start ridiculing him, saying that he's a makel. Now let me ask you a question. Stop. Think about it. I think the Olam is going to argue with each other over here. It's going to be geschmack. The guy gives a get on Aleph Nisan, and he dies in the middle of the year, smack in the middle. And the condition was that he's not going to show up in a year. When can she get married? When can she get married? The second he dies, because he's obviously not going to make it. He's not going to come back in a year. Or no, we have to wait until the year, because he said, if I don't come back in a year, let's wait until the year. And when the year happens, now we see that he's not coming back. Now she can get married. No, what do you say? Anybody? Oh, 1 second. I'll talk about that in a second. You have to wait until after 12 months? Second he dies, but his Tanai was 12 months. His Tanai was 12 months. It's not possible, you're right, but you have to wait to see maybe. I don't know. Evidence. On video. No, evidence. No, what do you say? Right away. Okay. At least we have a few people saying they're not right now. So the Gemara is going to ask the question right now. It's the Gemara's question. Says the Gemara, there's an older person there, part of the Bezin. When you allow her to get married, because she get married the moment you find out, you have evidence, you have evidence that he died in a plane crash, because he's never going to come back. At the end of the day, the Tanai was 12 months. So he asked him a question. So he says, what are you asking me now on this case? It's a Mefurish Mishnah, the same exact thing. Person says, you are divorced from this moment. If I don't fulfill the condition in 12 months, retroactively, the get should be from today. And he dies in the middle. Same case, right? Just with the more Mefurish Mi'achshav. It's a Mishnah. Have a get. It's a get. At the end of the day, he's not going to show up. You should ask the same question. Could you get married immediately, in middle, and 6 months in? Maybe you have to wait 12 months. So, Noam mentioned it, but Rebbe Greenwald also asked this. If you believe Mashiach could come any moment, so what happens if Mashiach comes? How could you get married today if Mashiach will come tomorrow? And the Tanai wasn't Mekuyim, and Shalom Yisrael.
He's a new person. Mashiach comes, you have to get Kiddushin.
Oh, so he wants to prove from here, and that's what the Olam is timing. That
he died. Who cares what it gets calling?
Till death he was part.
Yeah, but what if he gets up at Tchias HaMesim a moment later? Rebbe Zeir comes shachted to Rebbe Zeira, and then he did Tchias HaMesim anyway. So he says, yeah. You see from here, the Koines Atzma B'Misas Abal is a full Kinyan, and if the husband wakes up, he's a new person. She doesn't know who he is. Zog the Gemara. So it's a good kasha. Why are you asking me this chakira on what I just said? Ask it on a Mefurish Mishnah. It says Gemara in Nechanami. Yeah, the question applies also to the Mishnah. He asked the old person, the Zaken, because he happened to be there with the Rebbe the Nesiah. He wanted to know, according to Rebbe the Nesiah, that she could get married. When can she get married? After 6 months, or she has to wait after 12 months? So Tosis just says here, interesting because a lot of you were saying this. That's what the Koil Yingaman was saying. I've gotten the Yoshev of the Beis. It's so pashut that he's never coming back. So the Tanai already happened now. Why do you have to wait 12 months? He says, Tosis, you're right. Okay, perhaps you have to make some sort of gzeira. Zog the Gemara. Now we're just going to finish up the sugya real quickly. If the person stipulates this is your get, when the sun rises, not if, when the sun will rise. In other words, this get is yours tomorrow morning, and he doesn't make it to tomorrow morning, he dies before tomorrow morning. What's the halacha? Obviously, it's not a get. Only when the sun rises. It's not a good get because then it happened after you died. What if he says, on condition, in other words, a retroactive kind of get, it should start now, when the sun comes out, if the sun comes out, which means when. He's talking about retroactive. It's certainly just a tnai, and the get is chal k'deravuna. The Omar Ravuna Koloimer Almenas Koimer Ma'achshav Dami Rabbi said this is Parshas Shavua, the tnai b'nei God b'nei Ruvain. Condition Almenas Koloimer Ma'achshav Dami. When a person says on condition, he means that it should start right now. The only machlokes is if it comes out. Rabbi Yehuda Losi Savalok, Rabbi Yosi the Omer Zman Shtar Mechiach Alav. You just look at the star, and he gave the star today, so it starts now. Or Kima Achshav Imati. It's either retroactive or it should start today. Rabbanon less with the Rabbi Yosef. Rabbanon don't hold the Rabbi Yosef. Avalei kizegitach imati greda. It's just like a get that he says, if, and that's a get lachar misa. Okay, new sugya. Now we're going to discuss grasshoppers. Yosef and Yezer is straight there. You see, you notice over here it doesn't say Rebbe. Like the Girsa before, you take out the Rebbe. Yosef and Yezer from the Zugas, before the Tanoim, is straight al ayol kamto on this grasshopper called ayol, the Khan. It's kosher. And on liquids from the Beis Hamikdash, they are kosher. And if you touch it, that person become tamei. The Korelei, Yosef Shari, and they called him, his nickname was Yosef the Makel.
Not kosher, not matama.
Oh, is that what I said? Yeah, mistake. Not kosher, it's not matama. But I will say it again, by mistake. You could correct me every time. You should correct me. My ayol kamto. Rabbi say, these are some grasshoppers. What are the simonim of grasshoppers? So let me just show it to you in writing, then I'll show it to you in AI. Number one, it has four feet, 4 legs. It has 4 wings. And I forgot to look it up this morning, but I once gave a whole thing about, what are those scary, the scarier, dragonflies. Everybody hates dragonflies, but they never touch you, but they're scary. But there's something very, I don't remember what it was, there's something very, very chashuv about them. They're I think the only insects that can fly backwards and fly and stay in one spot. But they have like a crazy brain or something, crazy eyes. I don't remember, something very special about them. Okay, fine. When I was a kid, dragonfly. It's chashuv. They also have four wings. Now, a beetle we said has 6. These only have 4. You look at a grasshopper that has 6. That's called 2 karsulayim. They're not feet, they're jumpers. They cause them, they take off with them. They're like springs in the back of their body, boom. In order for a Yemenite or a Moroccan also have some sort of, it has to have these 4 simonim. It has to have 4 feet, 4 wings, 2 jumpers, and that the wings cover most of its body. So what if you have a grasshopper that has a funny looking head? It's not like a regular grasshopper, elongated head. Or you have a grasshopper that its wings don't cover 55% of the body. But let's say it covers 51% of the body. So what's the nafka? 51 is the roiv. But you can't differentiate. You'll never know. By looking at it with your eye, you don't know the difference. A human being cannot differentiate between 50 and 51%. It's not nikr leinayim. Maybe you need like 75% so that you could actually see it, not under a microscope. So that's what the Gemara is going to discuss here. Let me just show you this real quickly. This is the head. There's an elongated head and a round head. So elongated head might be a problem. Here's the shmak. I like this, what he did over here. So you see the 4 feet on the front, but the 2 back ones are not feet. They're the jumpers. Karsulayim is called. And here he's going to use them right now. Oh. Now, we every time we mention this, we have to mention this. Delicious here, delicious.
אלוהינו, מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו. וואי. טעים?
טעים. מנדי, אתה רוצה אחד? פיצוחים,
יש סיפור שפעם חגב הגיע לשולחן של הרב פעם...
נכון.
אז זה נכון הסיפור הזה? שחגב הגיע...
את העניינים, הגיע חגב שנבדוק אותו.
נו,
נבדוק אותו.
תחזיק אותו.
הסתכלתי עכשיו לעכשיו.
הוא היה טהור.
Okay, so over here is the famous story where Reb Chaim Kanievsky was learning the sugya of Chagavim, and somebody asked him, "Is it true that it came to the Gemara?" He says, "Yeah, he came to me, so I should check him out." And that was it. So Fashteitzach, you have the famous story where the guy said he doesn't believe the story, and he came home and he had his whole dining room was full of. What? And then somebody said that the Rebbe Zilberstein's story is not true, And he came home, and his whole entire living room was full of Aleinu l'Shabayach. And then Nachman Seltzer wrote the story in his thing, and somebody didn't believe it, so you got a bunch of Nachman Seltzer books. The kids it just goes on and on. But what I did see first time yesterday, I saw that some Sefer brings two exact stories like this. Mamish, two stories. He says, first of all, the Beis Yosef says that he had a suffix on there's a Taisvis, the Riyah Zaken had a suffix on a certain bird, and he didn't know what the bird was exactly. And the Beis Yosef says the bird fell on his table and he was able to check him out. That's the Beis Yosef. And then the Chavis Yair, and this has to do with this week's parasha. Chavis Yair says he didn't know what to call a Sefer. He had no idea. And his name is Yair. But he didn't know what to call the Sefer, and he got an Aliyah. And in this week's parasha, it says in the pasuk, "Vayikra Esen," he called them Chavis Yair, and that's why he called the Sefer. What's his name? Really? That ruins the story a little bit, but okay. The Chassam Sofer brings this. This is the Chassam Sofer saying that he got an Aliyah, and says Reb David that his mother's name was actually Chava, so it makes a lot of sense. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Maya El Kamsa, what's this grasshopper that we're talking about that he made a heter for it, that he said it's kosher? Rapapa Amar Shishiva, it has an elongated head. Rav Chia Barami Mishmedulah Amar Suzbil, it doesn't have very long wings. Rapapa Amar Shishiva, the machlokes is, can you eat, is it considered not part of the simanim? It has all the simanim, all four simanim, yet it has a funny looking head. No, it's not part of the tradition, can't eat it. Just want to show you the pasuk. It says in the pasuk, if it says solam, achargo, lechagov, 4 different types of grasshoppers. This is not included. It's not one of them. This is a type of grasshopper called susbil. No, everybody's going to say that if it has a funny looking head, no good. The machlokes says if it only covers 51% of its body, that's okay, it's kosher. You need to be able to differentiate yourself with your own eyes and see that it's roiv knofayim. Sponsor, turning the daf, Adar Global Experts in International Financial Services, Anonymous as chus v'atzlocha v'ruchnis and gashmias. With gratitude of a safe and healthy birth of our baby boy, Givara Shalva, a Torah true community in Givat Zev. By the way, Yishkoyach, it's a big schos that the younger lighter here, he's also a younger man, by the way. This is the Koil section right over here. He learns all day in Koil, Leibi. Says the Gemara, Val Mashke Beimit B'chayed D'chan. Said that the liquids in the Beis Hamikdash are tahar. By D'chan, what does it mean tahar? Rav Amar D'chan Mamish. Literally zero tumah to it. They are tameh, but they don't have the ability to be tameh others. Let's go to this for just 1 second. Okay. A dead person is the top level of tumah, avi avoisa tumah. And then if a dead person touches something, it drops 1 level. Every time you touch, every time you transmit the tumah, it drops 1 level. It goes from avi avoisa tumah to avat tumah. If an avat tumah touches something, it becomes a rishon. If a rishon touches something, it becomes a sheni. Sheni becomes a shlishi. Sometimes it goes all the way to chamishi, which we hardly ever see in Shas, but it's a thing. So, somebody spilled water on these, but it's okay. That's a guy. So, Shmuel Omar D'cham L'tamei Acherim, it doesn't have the ability in the Beis Hamikdash to transmit tumah, from a avat tumah, from a rishon, let's say, call it a rishon, to make it a sheni. That it doesn't have the power. Avat tumah sa'atzmi yeshma, they themselves are a rishon. So let's explain. Rav Omar D'cham Mamish, it's completely tar. Kosav tumah smashing the rabbanon. This, where's my thing? Tumah the rabbanon. The whole, that liquids can be metama, something else is only the Rabbanon. We're going to discuss, there's a pasuk, not a pasuk. But right now, the whole idea is the Rabbanon. And since it's Rabbanon, goes Rabbanon Tuma, b'mashkin the Alma. That's only apple juice in your own home, but not blood and water in the Beis Hamikdash. Amashkin b'Beis Hamikdash, goes Rabbanon, b'meila, Shmuel says, this is tar. Tar, completely tar. Goes Rabbanon. Wow, where's that camera from? Oh, over there, straight up. I got it. Ushmul Omar. Now, why is there no tumah in the Beis Hamikdash? Again, because we don't want too many things going on in the Beis Hamikdash. All the meat is going to become tummy. People, kohanim are going to be tummy. It's going to be a disaster. All these mashkim, not tummy, right? It's all over the floor. It gets everywhere. Shmuel Amar d'chamil l'tamei acherim. Sorry, that was Rav. Shmuel says it is tummy. It's tummy. Just it doesn't have the ability to be metama this guy like this. You got to help me out a little, yeah? You go like this. You stick your hand out. Oh, tazoi, givaldik. We got to get you into it. It's going to get even better. It itself, got to get rid of this. This is Tomei. Hold on. I got to find the Tomei sign. Where's Tomei? Tomei. Oh, this is Tomei, he says. Just when it touches somebody else, not Tomei. Okay. Because there are tumah b'mashkin da'alma, mashkin b'midchayel goes Shmuel sorry, tumas mashkin do'iraisa. L'tam acherim d'Rabbanan. The ability to be the second thing, second source is only the Rabbanan. So Mele Rabbanan have the right to do whatever they want. They're the ones that make the rule, so they break the rule. V'chi goes Rabbanan b'mashkin da'alma, b'mashkin b'midchayel goes. Great. Okay. Now next sugya. V'al di'ikra v'lemisa mesav. It's okay. So the Gemara asked the obvious question. Rabbi Yosi ben Yezer says that if you touch a dead person, you become tummy. And it says, "V'korele Yosef Sharia." He's a makel. He makes heterim. Yosef also Rebbeirle. He said, if you touch a dead person, you become tummy. So it's not a kula; it's a chumrah. V'oy deraisi. What are you talking about? It's a pasuk in the Torah that you become tummy if you touch a dead person. Because you become tummy. Says the Gemara, the Iraiso, the Yikrav Tomei, the Yikrav, oh, check this out, this is Givaldik. He's so dead that his head is backwards. Oh, okay, hold like this. Okay, this guy is Avi Avodah Tuma, yeah? Somehow we got to get this in here. No, it's not going to work. Like this. Okay, fine. This guy is the worst of the worst. Avi Avodah Tuma. There I said the Yikrav Tomei. I'm touching this guy, right? I'm touching him. So that's the Raisa. I become Tomei. The Yikrav Tar. And if I go like this to this guy, what's your name again?
Menachem Shmeila.
Menachem. I touch him, he's Tar. Tar. I become Tomei, the Torah says, not him. So now we're trying to find a kula. What did Yosef ben Yezer, what was he making? Because Chachavim came along and said that Menachem is Tomei. Tomei. So you have to hold this Tomei thing. Where's the Tomei thing? Tomei. Hold this up. He's Tomei. Well, see, hold it up high, facing the camera. The camera. No, turn it even better, more. Oh, Tomei. You went to the mikveh today? Okay, but now you Tomei because I touched this and then I touched you. You're Tomei. So, you Tomei. The oh, and then he said, "You're lucky. You're lucky." Comes Yosef ben Yezer says, "This you can show. You're tar. Tar. Why? That's you see, Yosef ben Yezer was Mekel." Says the Gemara, what are you talking about? It's in the Torah that Menachem is Tomei. I'm the Tomei, and I touch a Tomei, he becomes Tomei. I'm a Rabban Kamid the Rav Mishmid the Marzutra, smack in the middle of the Amud, berei the Rav Nachman, Domer Mishmid the Rav Nachman, it's in the name of Rav Nachman. The Oiraiso, but the Yikrav. B'chiburin tu mashiva. Check this out, he doesn't like when I touch him, but too bad, this is for Torah. Give me your hand. Like this, Rabbi Yisai, I'm touching this dead person, and then it's like electricity. See what's going on? No, your head is in the way. Yeah, like this. It's electricity. You have to have a closed circuit. I'm touching the dead person. The tumah goes through my body, from my body into Menachem's body. Now he's tumah. It's like this. I leave go of the mace, and then I touch him. Then not. B'chibur, you hear what's going on here? B'chiburim tuma shiva. If I'm touching the dead and then touching Menachem, then you get 7 days of tuma, the real starke tuma, where I have to do hazah, I have to spritz him with the paraduma water. Shloi b'chiburin. But if it's only, if I touch this and then I touch you, so you get this sign here. You have to hold this up. That's ad erev, to the camera right over there. Ad erev. It's a shvacha tuma, only one night. One day. And they said, time out, they said, you're super, super duper tummy. Here, hold this up. We have another one maybe. Whatever. Oh yeah, here, this is nicer. And it's a nice, this one. They said, no. They said that he's super tummy sheva. Oh, you have to keep on holding. And then he said, hold on, where's the other one? This one. And then he said, now you can put it in front like this. Block it, because you don't want people to think that you're tummy for 7 days. And that was the kula. You see, it went down from 7 to the night. That was the big kula that Yosef ben Yezer did. That's why they call him a mekel. So he went back to one day. Says the Gemara, what does it say in the pasuk? First it says you tummy for 7 days, but it also says the first guy, me, Eli, touching this, I become tummy 7 days. When I touch him, it says in the Torah 7 days, but it also says 1 day. So which one is it? 7. It depends. If I'm touching this and then I touch you at the same time, 7 days. B'chiburin 7. If I touch it and then I touch you without having the complete circuit, then it's only 1 day. Okay, it's at kam b'chiburin. I'm touching the dead person while I'm touching Menachem. Kan shalei b'chiburin. I'm touching Menachem without touching the dead person. Amalu Rava doesn't like this whole thing. Now I think we're done with this Givaldika thing. Done. Rava Amar Amalu Rava. Lava minulechu leititu bei buki sriki b'Rav Nachman. What are you saying? Silly things in the name of Rav Nachman. Empty pots in the name of Rav Nachman. Not true. What is this? I didn't see this. I'll watch it with you. Oops. I'm not sure what this is for. I don't know. Okay, something to do with Tahara.
We didn't kill him.
He's been dying to do that.
Pure empty wine. Water.
What just happened is not acceptable. You caused Noam to do one of those. You might. That I can't handle. You and your shtusim is one thing, but to corrupt the oilam here, the original oilam, it's not talent. What is that? The chiburim. It's like the Gemara. It's not right that the head is. I don't want to break it off or anything. I got to get one of these. No, this looks super expensive. It's like a doctor that has all names. It came from it's probably a medical student or something. Oh. So what happened? Yeah, what was Yosef ben Yezer's kula? This is Buki Sriki. So he said like this. The lashon of Yosef ben Yezer is, if you touch a dead person, you're tummy. Yeah, that's in the Torah. I'm saying that if you have a suffix in Rishus Harabim, you don't know if you touch or not. You were walking by a levaya, you're not sure if you touched. That's mutter. As the Gemara of that's the famous Saita. If you're not familiar with this video, then that means you just started this year today. Oh, what's a Saita? A husband warns the wife not to have yichud with another man, and she does have yichud. But where does this yichud take place? Not in Rishus Harabim. It has to be in a private domain. So we learn from Saita the idea of Suffolk Tumah, that she's a Suffolk Tumah. Because of her Suffolk Tumah that she had with this man, we bring her to the Beis HaMikdash and we do the whole person. Enough. Her Tumah takes place in Rishus Yachid. If it takes place in Rishus Harabim, it will be tar. So what was Yosef ben Yezer adding over here? You're right, it's a famous halacha, but we don't tell people, but we don't announce it in public. But Yosef Yezer came and announced in public, he told everybody that there's a suffix tumah, that people shouldn't be mizazel in tumah. You would think that that's why they didn't say it in public. He said, I don't care, I'm telling everybody the halacha. If you have a suffix tumah and Rishus Rabbim, tar. He stuck beams into the ground and he said, Ad kan Rishus Rabbim, Ad kan Rishus Yachid. He told him the halacha of Sovak Tumim Rishus Rabbim is tar. Kiyosel Kamid Rabbi Yana Yomar. By the way, Motzei Shabbos Shir is at 10 o'clock in English, 11 o'clock in Hebrew. Look, you have a mikvah. You have water right here. Zilu Tvoilu. In other words,
That's the video.
That's the video. I don't know. In other words, why should I be matter a Sovak Tumah? Jump in the mikvah. If you live in Russia, like Rav Moshe Feinstein or whatever, that famous story with the Russian lady who cried by her husband's levaya, didn't go to the mikvah 7 years. Okay, I hear. But you have a mikvah. It's mamish available. Every block today has a mikvah. So go into the mikvah. What's the problem? Zilu Tvoilu. Rabbi Sai. Have a wonderful day. Have a great Shabbos. Yeshur Koyach.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDAF.com.